What's up everyone, welcome back to a new video. So in this video I will be doing one of the best, if not the best mods for the BMW E92 M3 interior or any other automatic car that has some paddles on the steering wheel. So in my hand here I have the magnetic paddle shifters and I will be installing them today on my E92 M3. As you can hear, these are the magnetic paddle shifters and they sound so good. They make you feel like you're in a race car. So that is probably one of the best mods for the E92 M3 for sure. So these magnetic paddle shifters are going to be my first mod for the E92 M3 and I'm really happy to install them. Once I bought the E92 M3, I straight away bought these magnetic paddle shifters, mainly because they feel so much better than the original paddles. You can hear what they sound like. It sounds so much better and you feel like you're in a race car. So the whole driving experience just gets so much better. And that is the reason why I bought these magnetic paddles for the E92 M3. So these magnetic paddles I actually bought from China, from Aliexpress, and they were actually really cheap because I paid about $88 or about €80 for these paddles. And there's no brand, no logo on these, but I guess they're probably made in the same factory as the other paddles that come with the logos. The first impressions, they look quite good. I would say they are original if they had some logos on them, but they sound really good, they look good. These carbon fiber pieces at the side here will be replaced with the longer ones. I'll show you everything that I got in the box in just a second, and I'll also show you the difference in the sound between these magnetic paddles and the stock paddles, because these magnetic paddles sound so much better than the stock paddles. So right here you can see these are the stock paddles. This is what they look like. I would say they are quite boring, but I'm going to bring my mic up to the paddle and press the paddles and see what they sound like compared to the magnetic paddles. And now we will be pressing the magnetic paddles right beside the microphone. So as you could hear right there, these magnetic paddles by far sound so much better than the stock paddles on the E92 M3. And I'm really excited to put these paddles on because they will change the whole experience of driving this car, because it's going to feel like a race car or like you're in a sim rig or something like that. So I will be putting these on today. It's going to be my first mod and I can't wait to test them out. So I'm just going to do a quick unboxing of these paddles. This is the way they came, in a cardboard box like this. That looks quite good, I would say. When you open the box, everything did come in these protective bags. I just took everything out of the bag so it's easier to show you and a lot faster. So you get one paddle. Here's the second paddle. These two parts that go onto the paddles, so you can attach them onto the steering wheel. Then we have some hardware here as well. So we also got some paddle extensions. They are in carbon fiber as the smaller ones as well. They look so much better in my opinion. These are smaller extensions and these are the larger extensions, and I will be putting on the bigger ones because I just like the way they stick out over the steering wheel a lot better, and they just look a lot more aggressive in the car. So I will be swapping these out straight away before I put these paddles on the car. There we go, we have both of the paddle extensions changed to the longer ones. We have the plus here and the minus here. As you can see, in my opinion, these longer paddle extensions look a lot better than the shorter ones, so that is why I just put these longer ones on straight away. And now we can get onto the install of the actual paddles on the steering wheel. So we have both of the paddles replaced with the longer extensions, as you can see. Now the next step is to install them, but before we install these paddles we have to unplug the battery because we have to take the airbag off and we don't want the airbag to explode in our face. So I'm going to unbolt the battery, which is in the boot of the car, and then I'm going to get onto taking off the airbag so we can put the paddles on. So on the right side of the boot we have the battery. To take this piece off you need to turn this clip at the top just there, and it will come out to the side. We can move that off to the side now, and then we have the battery, which is right there. We need to remove the negative terminal, and now once that's off we can remove the negative terminal. You need to push it away from the battery so it doesn't touch when we are doing something with the airbag. Now we have a loose wire here, which I don't even know what it's from, but I need to check that out. All right, so now that we have the negative terminal out of the battery, I'm gonna give it about 5 minutes for all the power to just drain and everything like that, so we don't get an airbag exploded in our face. Now that's what I hear you should be doing. I don't know if it's true, but I'd rather not test it and have an airbag in my face. So I'll give it a couple of minutes for all the power to drain out, and then I'll get to taking out the airbag. Now we can get onto removing the airbag from the steering wheel, so we can unscrew the paddles and put the new paddles on. With taking off the airbag, there's holes at the back of the airbag that I'll show you now in a second. You need to put in a screwdriver and push one of the pins to release the airbag. So as you can see, hopefully you can see, right behind the steering wheel, this hole right here, this is where you put the screwdriver in. So once you put your screwdriver into this hole, you need to push a pin and it will release the airbag, and this side of the airbag will pop out. Once you release one of the pins, the airbag will pop out from one side, and you need to do the same thing from the other side for the airbag to fully pop out. Now be careful, because there is wires on the airbag to the steering wheel, so don't just pull the airbag, undo the wires first, and then the whole airbag will come out. All right, that was actually a bit easier than I thought it would be. So now I'm going to get onto the other side, and we can pop that pin to take out the whole airbag. Now that both of the sides of the airbag are unlocked, we can take out the airbag. When you spin it around carefully, there is 2 plugs here. So what you need to do is put a screwdriver in the back of the plugs here just to pop them up. We will do it on the other one as well. There you go. You just have to wiggle these plugs out. We have one of them popped. Now the second one seems to be a bit stuck. You just need to give it a bit of force, I guess. All right, so that's the airbag out of the car. We can put that off to the side. So this is what the inside looks like after you take the airbag off. We have one of the screws, which is right here. The other screw is on the other side right here. And then we have to unplug these brown wires, which are hiding behind the buttons here at the back. So you just unplug that, undo this screw, and the whole paddle comes out after that. Okay, so we have our T20 Torx. We are going to take off this paddle. It's an easy bolt to undo. Hold the paddle from the back so it just doesn't fall out. So I'm having a problem with disconnecting the wires that are at the back connected to the paddles. They just don't seem to want to come out because there isn't much space, and they don't seem to be loose to pop out easily. So I'm going to take off this whole panel here. In order to take this panel off, there's 3 screws at the back. One at the bottom here, one at the top here, and another one at the top here as well, from both sides. So I'm going to take this panel off to have better access to where the paddles connect. Okay, that's one of the plugs out, and now that's the second pin disconnected. Now, as you can see, one of the paddles is out. As you can see, we have the wire going through one of the holes, then it goes onto the paddle, and you just screw in with the bolt from the front. Everything seems to fit nicely. All right, so that seems quite tight already. Oh my God. This feels so much better. I actually can't, oh my God. This actually feels way too good. The downshifts are gonna be addicting now, especially once I upgrade to a full titanium exhaust. The downshifts with these paddles are gonna feel so good. You're just gonna feel like you're in a race car, as I've said already a couple of times in this video. But from my view, it looks so much better. I'll show you now what it looks like. Here we have the magnetic paddle, and here's the stock paddle. No sound from the stock paddles. The stock paddles here, they sound so bad compared to these magnetic paddles, so I'm happy to put both of them on and test them out, see what it looks like. and especially how it feels when you're driving, downshifting and stuff like that. So I'm just going to speed up the process of putting on the second paddle because you already know how to do everything, as I've said in the video already. So I'm going to put on everything here, connect everything together, throw it on a time lapse, and then we can see how the finished product looks like. Now that's both of the paddles on, this plastic piece is back on. Now all we have to do is plug in the airbag, which is right here. Let's just quickly connect these wires, or plugs, or whatever you want to call them. And then we can plug the airbag back in. There's one, there's two. Everything seems to be all good. I'm just going to tuck in the wires a bit so they don't get caught on the airbag. Alright, so now we can put the airbag back in. Looks all good. Oh my god, I just can't get over how nice the steering wheel looks now with these paddle shifters. So I will be replacing the whole steering wheel and this steering wheel cover or plastic trim or whatever you want to call it. It is a bit peeling right here, but I will do that in another video. So for now it's just the paddle shifters, and in another video in a while, I haven't bought the steering wheel yet, I've got some other mods on the way and already at home, but the paddle shifters are a must-have for an automatic E92 M3, especially with the DCT transmission. I love the way it looks, I love the way it sounds, and it feels amazing as well. Alright, so I just finished installing the paddles. I think they just look so good. I'm going to start the car up, go for a drive, see what they are like. I will record from the inside to get some first impressions of what I think about the paddles, and you can also hear them while I drive, do some downshifts and upshifts, but in my opinion, they look so much better, as I've already said. For me, it's the first mod that I did on the M3, and I'm happy I did it because it's not that expensive, it feels good, sounds good, and it just changes the way you drive the car. Just the feeling and everything like that, you feel like you're in a race car, as I've said already. I think everyone that makes videos about installing these magnetic paddles compares them to driving a race car or a sim rig, because that is just the way it feels like. You have nicer and like magnetic paddles on a sim rig and in a professional race car. So as I said, if you're considering these paddles, I would just buy them because it changes the whole experience of driving the E92 M3. This is what the paddles look like on the car. As you can see, they look so much better than the stock paddles, and I like the paddle extensions because, as you can see, they stick out from the top and actually from the bottom here as well. So that is why I put on the paddle extensions, because I just like the way it sticks out over the steering wheel. Alright, so I'm just going to do a quick drive with the new magnetic paddles. So I don't have any other mics inside the car, all I have is the mic that is on the DJI Action 5 Pro. So I'm going to go on a quick drive with the windows up so you don't hear the exhaust as much and you hear the sound of the paddles more. So let's go, press the M button to go into manual mode, and let's start off. Downshifts coming. Pick up the sound of the magnetic paddles because they're just so much louder than the stock paddles. Okay, so as you just saw in this video, we changed the stock paddle shifters to some magnetic paddle shifters, and they look and sound so good. You've heard what they sound like in the POV drive, and also seen the whole install of how I installed the new paddles onto the car. Most likely next Sunday I will upload a video of where I detail the engine bay on my E92 M3, because in order to do the next mod I need to clean the engine bay because the engine bay is filthy. If you want to see what it looks like, check out my previous video where I did a walk around, and also I told you how I want to modify this E92 M3. Now I need to clean the engine bay because I want to install the next mod, which is a carbon cold air intake from Eventuri. If you're interested in seeing the carbon cold air intake install on the E92 M3, make sure to subscribe. It should be out within probably 2 weeks from this video. Next video will be cleaning the engine bay, and then we will be installing the carbon air intake. So that's going to be the end of this video. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more of my videos, make sure to subscribe. Also hit the bell notifications button beside the subscribe button so you are notified whenever I upload my future videos. Also like this video, leave a comment below what videos you want to see on the M3. If you have any video ideas that I can do with the E92 M3, drop them down below. I'll make sure to reply to every comment. Thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video.